Right, Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And the key to this video, this lesson, is going to be Micah 2:10, and it says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction." Okay, the vibration and the general way of life of this world is death, degradation, and corruption. Okay, because this world is being ruled and governed by death, degradation, and corruption in the flesh. The seed of the wicked, the Edomites, who you may know as so-called Europeans or so-called white people. Alright, and every facet of life they have tainted and corrupted, and it destroys you. We could talk about healthcare, we could talk about education, but what I want to talk about pertaining to you Israelites is the sports industry, because a lot of you Israelites view being a sportsman or being a musician, these are the main industries that you want to become a part of, because you see that as some form of salvation, like becoming a baller, becoming a basketballer in the NBA, becoming a NFL player, playing in the big leagues. Alright, becoming a championship boxer, and mainly because you see the prestige and the money that these athletes can make. But you don't seem to understand that first and foremost, these athletes are making crumbs compared to what the industry actually, which is built upon their hard work and dedication, makes. Alright, the real people that profit from the sports industry are the owners of these various teams, leagues, clothing lines, and all these people that utilize these athletes, these assets, to make a lot of money. The TV networks, and they making all the money, and they don't have to put their body on the line. They don't have to put their body on the line. The athletes do. And what you gotta understand is a lot of these athletes live every day, especially after retirement, in terrible pain. They have so many chronic chronic injuries, that their life is like a living hell, and that's something that they don't like to talk about much. That's why a lot of these athletes end up addicted to opiates, addicted to painkillers, addicted to alcohol. One, because of the chronic injuries. Two, because they can't make the transition when they retire to a life where they're not in the limelight anymore. They don't know what to do with themselves, because playing that sport every week became everything they were. And once they're retired, they feel empty, which they always was empty. Because if they always was empty. Simple as that. Alright? That's why you see a lot of this issue with the doping. Because what you're going to find out is like boxers, especially the concussive sports, the high contact concussive sports. I'm going to put a clip in that's going to show you that stuff like boxing, where you're getting concussions and that can damage your pituitary gland, whereby you don't produce hormones the right way. A good example of that was James Toney. So in order to compete, he's got to take drugs just to keep his body in shape to be able to work out to compete, man. A lot of these boxers can't even speak right, man. They can't even speak right. Their brain ain't operating correctly. That's the price they had to pay. 'Cause you ain't supposed to be, let's put it like this. You ain't supposed to be putting your body through the rigor of professional sports, week in, week out, day in, day out. Your body is not designed for that. This is a false destructive system that Esau has set up for the complete continual entertainment of the people. And it destroys the athletes, man. And you could do your own research and you'll see exactly what I'm telling you is true. How many of these athletes end up having to spend all their money on medical expenses for injuries that the doctor has no idea how to treat, which they got from their years of professional sport. So here it is, you think becoming a professional sportsman is going to deliver you and your family into a heaven, and what you find out, it delivers you into a world of pain and drug addiction and debt and whatnot. More time than not. That's why this is what the scriptures say, Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sure destruction, man. A lot of you want to make your way into the entertainment industries, sports industry, the music industry, acting and all that, trying to make that fortune, and you don't understand that ultimately, because these things are of this world, they are corrupted, and they're ultimately going to destroy you. So I'm going to put some clips in, alright, and you can see boxers slurring their speech, and this is what this thing is all about, man. Okay, you're talking about two men standing in a ring punching the hell out of each other, man. First of all, two brothers ain't really supposed to do that to each other. They're sparring, light sparring, and then there's going to war. You got two Israelites in the ring going to war on each other's brains for money. That ain't right, man. Ultimately speaking, that ain't right, man, because you giving your brother brain damage. It's just true, man. You know, we respect the art of war, but are we really supposed to be going to war with our brother like that for money? No. Ultimately speaking, no. You know, putting yourself through that, man. So with that, you know, I'm going to say shalom. Check out the clips, man.
Anytime somebody fight 100 times, 50 times, something is going to happen. You don't know. I don't know. Just like when I look at Ali, I can see the changes from him, from what he was. But me of a change in myself, because shit, what changed him? Somebody said, man, the way you talk, the way you do this, the way you do that. I don't think about it. Mm-hmm. But when they see me, they know. Man, you had that many fights, you had to be punching. Because a guy hit you one time in your fight, that ain't what the grind is. The grind is you taking beating over time. Over time is what messed the fight up. That's why Muhammad Ali messed up. Ali only messed up because he was a rope. He was a guy at the rope, and he let beat him. So yeah, I miss boxing. I like boxing, but do I have injuries from boxing? I really don't know, really. To be honest, I don't know, because, I mean, you have that many fights, generally, something. If you had 100 and something fights, and something happened, something along the line has happened. I mean, you fighting all the time, so it's going to take somebody one way or the other. But, I mean, I think that I just look back and say to myself, you know, I think that I did what I wanted to do in boxing, and I mean, sure, something gonna happen one way or the other. Whether you may be whatever it is you're gonna be, till something's going to happen. One way or the other, something's going to happen. And that's how it is with me. Something happened.
And now, reporting for Outside the Lines, Bob Lee.
Just 3 days ago, we learned of the medical conclusion that the multiple on-field concussions suffered by former NFL safety Andre Waters led to his depression and his suicide in November. Now, today we learned of another danger from brain trauma for athletes, one that's as ironic as insidious. At a time when all sports are drug testing more stringently than ever, the very violence of these sports can cause athletes' bodies to stop producing testosterone or growth hormone, and so athletes need to add these substances that are banned. Tom Ferry of ESPN The Magazine explains this dilemma.
Head trauma is a fact of life in contact sports, such as football and boxing. How does it feel to be hit in the head really hard?
Oh, man. Well, when you first get hit, you see a big black spot, and then the pain hits you. After I get done with the fight, I'm like, damn, do I really want to do this? Is this the career I really want to choose?
For 19 years, boxer James Toney has continued to return to the ring, where he's won 4 world titles from middleweight to heavyweight. But along the way, he also may have suffered an injury that doctors only now are beginning to understand. It involves the impact of head trauma on the pituitary gland, a pea-sized organ that secretes many of the body's most important hormones.
The pituitary gland sits at the base of the skull. It sits directly behind the eyes and right in the midline behind the nose and the nasal cavity.
UCLA neurosurgeon Dan Kelly is one of the leading researchers in the emerging area of pituitary injuries.
So when someone has a head injury, the brain, we know, moves around within the skull, and there can be stretching of the pituitary stalk, or there can be direct damage to the pituitary gland.
Damage to that so-called master gland can lead to deficiencies in critical hormones that affect everyday energy levels and such processes as the healing of muscles and bones.
Which hormones are you low in, and how low are you?
They said my testosterone level's real low, like damn near non-existent.
Now that's a strange thing to hear from a boxer.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you're in the testosterone sport.
Yeah, but see, I was shocked when Dr. Gordon told me. I was like, oh my God, are you serious?
I was always amazed at his hormone levels being that of a 60 and 70-year-old.
Mark Gordon is the personal physician to Toney, as well as several retired NFL athletes. He showed Outside the Lines the results from a basic blood test taken in March 2005, a month before Toney's championship bout against heavyweight John Ruiz. The results of that test suggest the then 36-year-old boxer was not only low in testosterone, but in the chemical IGF-1, a commonly used marker for growth hormone. A more rigorous follow-up test to confirm the initial findings was not performed.
I needed to check other aspects because of inability to lose weight, issues with strength, issues with memory, with focus.
In a 2004 preliminary study, researchers in Turkey found growth hormone deficiency in 45% of boxers. This month, those same researchers published a study that found deficits of the same hormone in 23% of kickboxers, a rate still many times higher than the general population.
From the results of these studies, it suggests that there's ongoing damage to the pituitary gland that at this point I really don't think people are paying much attention to.
Should they?
I think it certainly should be looked at.
In fact, one NFL-funded study comparing boxing to football found that the collisions on any given Sunday can be more devastating than any punch delivered in a ring.
And I was very impressed with what I saw.
There's no secret to what Chavez does. There's no doubt that he'll try to do the same thing against you. What can you do against him to take advantage of your particular edges in speed and quickness?
Well, Jim Lampley, I won't want to give away my strategy, my game plan. I would just really look to offset him. I wouldn't have to be in 100% condition in order to beat a guy like Chavez. I have the potentials and the skills to beat Chavez with my hand speed and foot speed. And believe me, come March 17th, the strategy I will have to beat Chavez I will be victorious come March 17th.
Without suggesting that you'll run.
I'm feeling great, feeling wonderful for what's about to take place tonight with the new portion by Damon Feldman. Champions of tomorrow. I'm looking forward to a good portion, good fights, for good fight cards. So I'm glad to be a part of it.
You know, it's the whole, you guys are doing this for such a good cause, because one of my pet peeves is bullying. And, you know, this is so nice that you guys are going out for bullying and putting a face to bullying. You know, you're saying, listen, we're not going to tolerate this. Has this been something that you've been involved in for a while, bullying?
Oh, yeah, that's dear to my heart, and it affects me when I see a kid being bullied by someone else. I believe that this putting this out there in the public eye that's just wrong. We advocate that that's wrong for kids to be bullied, and that's not what to be a man. That's not being a man doing the bully kids. So they need positive role models today to be directed in a good way. They've been going astray. In today's time, the way it was today, kids has been bombarded with all kind of things that make them want to be a big bully with TV, all kind of killing, TV, stuff like that, games. So I can just be a part of help curb some of the bullying. And I'm definitely glad to be a part of it. Also, autism.
Right.
I heard about autism.
Autism also. I mean, these are two really good causes, both of them.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I don't know very little about autism, but it's something that I've seen that affects a lot of people that had kids with autism.
Right.
You know, I can come and be a part of it to help, you know.
Well, you know, like they...
awareness to it.
Right. Well, like...
Well, I think Ben has been a great champion. He's got to be somebody who has a super middleweight title. And as far as you know, in the ring with me against an opponent like Ben, I don't think I should have no problem. I won't have a problem. I mean, it's a perfect style. He's a guy that's going to come towards me. He has a lot of heart. He thinks he's a big puncher, so that's tailor-made for me. You've never...
Yes. That's perfect. Nice, Gregory, Ben.
Please. Come over back. No. Excuse guys.
Gregory. 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 Nigel. Gregory. Nigel. Gregory. Ben. Nigel. Gregory. Ben. Nigel. Gregory. Ben.
Bubbly.
Gregory. Gregory. He right here.
Gregory. Gregory. Nigel, Gregory, Ben. Nigel, Gregory, Ben.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Gerald. 12. 12.
Nick, we're going to have to stop this fucking my friend. Still. Run down. It's in a con. I mean, it's alright. It won't keep up.
Stayed in the hospital for 6 months. 6 months.
No.
Listen.
What?
This man almost told my life.
No.
Listen.
Yeah.
Know something?
What?
Know something?
What?
Listen.
What?
What are you doing?
Looking at you. Looking at you. Looking at you. Looking at you.
He got a meaner or a sad person?
Sad. Sad.
Sad.
Here.
Can we get? Come here. Just need one more. Just need one more. Just Nigel and Joe.
Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. All right.
Easy. You're in Lynn. You're in Lynn.
Chris.
Mary.
If we can get Lisa on the other side
Who's
of the
that?
ledge.
Come sit with your friend.
Get it out. Get it out. Get it out. Upstairs in the room, okay? Give on him. Yeah, now?
300. 300. Yes. Hold on, Joe. Hold on, we've been
Of weight. What's the story? Are you struggling again to get down to 168 pounds?
I feel good. I'm in great shape. I'm ready. And that's all I got to say. Everybody will see how my weight is on November 17th.
Why'd you close your training camp?
Because I just wanted to. I got tired of everybody being in my way. So I had to kick them out. So I can have my privacy. I have my room, my space.
All right. Relax and occupy your space for a second while we talk to Roy.
All championship fights should be exciting like this. Deontay is a good fighter. You know, I can't knock him. He's doing his thing. I'm proud of him. AO, he's been doing his thing for a long time. But I think it's time for him to either show up or shut up. I can't. I'm gonna call this fight a toss-up because they both have.
How do you feel about that? Well, it's a sad victory, really. You're my idol. You know, beating my idol. It's really sad, you know, but he's a great fighter. You know, still my idol. I'll never lose respect for his man. Never.
Did you feel that you were in such control you could waste a couple of rounds? A couple of times you got in there and you were just kind of playing the round away.
Well, first of all, I'd like to give thanks to my Lord Almighty. And that's my power. Thank you, Lord.
Indeed it is.
Now repeat your question, please.
Were you
I see some of the best fighters in the world can barely walk, stumbling around. It's sad.
Looking back now, was it worth it?
I wouldn't say it was. I put my family on the map. I made my dad happy. He passed away now. We were like best friends. I made my dad happy. You know, he had two sons. Both his sons became world champions. So that's why I made him happy. I truly believe he's the reason why I won the world title championship 4 times.
He's in danger of going down. Let's see if Norris...
He's the reason why I'm a Hall of Famer. He's the reason why, I'm history. He's the reason.